live from the absolute depths of Rockbound Avenue and the deepest, darkest corner of Basement Boulevard. This is Cellar County with Butch and Coffee. And what the fuck happened this weekend? Or really, what the fuck happened with that one game?
Until Sunday, everything was normal, and then Sunday happened, and if you even watch the events that unfolded on Sunday nights,
you only had to see the first snap of the last game of the night to know shit was going so. Anyway,
so for one game, I followed heart by heart, play by play, and by the end of the first quarter, I thought I was drunk. I thought I was in a bad dream.
I was already drinking.
I'm gonna raise a glass right now to the NFL failing to live up to expectations. The Jets did not go 0-16, and now the Cleveland Browns have won a playoff game for the first time since 1994. Drink up, motherfuckers! Woo! Oh, fuck.
Anyway, yep. Sorry for the long delayed introduction. Cellar County with Butch and Coffee. And Super Wild Card Weekend was just this past Saturday and Sunday. And for most, we had 6 NFL games.
Definitely more exciting than last year.
I would say there was a lot more to go around, and it was I would say okay,
a lot more parity this year.
I would a lot more parity. Still don't fully agree with the format of only one team getting the bye and the second seed still have to play, but
I don't
think they screwed up that badly.
It's interesting because this is a weird year. It's a paranormal year. It's a COVID year. You had one extra team to beef up the drama, and it keeps the number one overall team safe. Yeah, last year we saw the Baltimore Ravens exposed at home as the frauds they were, which you just kind of wonder, had they had that bye, or there was this year, you wonder if they would have done better coming in.
That's fair.
However, this year, we saw the Packers and we saw the
Chiefs. The Chiefs were bound to get the 1 seed. You and I knew that.
Well, not after week 11. A certain team was 11-0.
We will get to that. But first, we're going to break down each game in the orders that happened on the weekend. We're going to start with the first game, the Colts and the Bills. And did you say that the Colts were going to win last week?
Yeah, I really had faith in Phillip Rivers. I was hoping he was going to go his last year shooting. You could say he did, but
he did all right. I mean, the game was a pretty close game, I would say. I enjoyed. I only turned in at the second quarter, but
am I happier the Bills actually pulled off what they couldn't do last year and actually win a playoff game? Let me tell you, they're first since 1995. Yes, this was the year to end droughts, apparently, for playoff teams, except for my poor old Lions. I need another shot. Fuck it. I'm pouring one. The Bills won a good game. Josh Allen has hopefully killed off the memes that he is not a true quarterback. And here's the hope in the Bills actually make some noise in this postseason. Yeah. Hoping that they can be forerunners in the AFC and take down the machine that is the Chiefs.
I was gonna say, look at it this way for the Colts. Even though Phillip Rivers didn't win, he's once again sitting out. He's probably not gonna get his ring. You can hold your head high for this. You had the whole AFC can hold their head high even if you lost a game in the playoffs, because this was a very, very tough conference to get in, and you guys did. Sure, you lost your first game, but let's be real. You guys can be back. You guys have a good shot being back next year.
I think so. The question is whether or not Rivers comes back.
That's like the big deal. That's like the big question. I think he should. I think he should.
There's the possibility that he does, but there's also some quarterbacks that are going to be considered free agents and some ones that are at large to fit the system. My thing is the Colts have a set team for the future. Hopefully the Colts can find their magic, and hopefully 2021 will be a little more happier for them.
Yeah.
As for the Bills, congrats on this win. You have officially conquered the Patriots' rule over the AFC East, and you have something to actually show for it this time around.
And your next test will be if you prevail in your next test, it would be even bigger. You would have probably the tools to beat Patrick Mahomes if you could pass your next test.
Oh boy.
Finally make up after four tries. After 4 tries, you finally get the Super Bowl. That'd be a miracle. That I would love.
So do you have the matchups confirmed for next week?
Yes.
Do you have them?
Yes, I have them right here. We will talk about the matchups because we're gonna give predictions at the end of this podcast. So if you want to hear our predictions, skip ahead about 40 minutes and we'll talk about them. In the meantime, we'll move on to the next game: the Rams and the Seahawks. This one did not go how I thought it was gonna go.
Up until Sunday night, this was my upset of the week. This was a game that Chef Russ did not live up to expectations. The Seahawks got absolutely embarrassed at home. And there wasn't even the Jared Goff was the mind-boggling part. You lost to John Wolford, a former AAF starting quarterback. This game was
one good thing to come from the AAF. One good thing.
One nice thing that was wrapped up in a bow was a guaranteed playoff win against an inferior divisional rival. You shit the bed so bad that it is still radiating out of the Pacific Northwest. Congratulations.
I wouldn't say they shit the bed that
If
badly.
you are a Seahawks fan, you have got to be beyond obliterated drunk. You have got to be beyond mad.
Let's see who gets into. Let's see a drinking contest right now.
How do you lose a almost guaranteed gimme?
This was not. I wouldn't say this was a gimme.
With Jared Goff out, going against an
stranger things have happened. We had the Eagles make Super Bowl and beat Tom Brady with a backup. Let's remember that happened.
Yeah, but the more and more I think about it, the more and more of a fluke I think it is.
The more and more I think about this game right here, the more I think, you know what? If an upset was bound to happen, barring Sunday night, if an upset was bound to happen, this would have been the one.
Russell Wilson played like shit. He should be ashamed of himself for how he played. He was only 11 of 27. He didn't even crack 200 yards in a playoff game. You are lucky you got the 20 somehow. You're lucky this wasn't a bigger laugh than it should have been. Yeah, this team did not do that good, realistically speaking.
Well, let's talk about the Rams corner. Let's talk about Akers. He had 131 yards and he kind of just went off. I would say going off, but let's just say he made the Seahawks defense look like Swiss cheese for a moment.
Pretty much so.
But then again, that would be bound to happen if you had 28 carries in the game.
But I don't think the Seahawks run defense, I didn't think it was that bad. At least actually, they were allowing up a lot of yardage and whatnot this year. I take that statement back.
Would you consider 164 yards in this one game that bad compared to what they normally do?
If that's what they normally do, I would say no. Like I said, it's the playoffs, and you said,
that's the one thing. It's the playoffs, so you have to be on your game.
One little mistake could crush your entire season, and
they are very aware of that.
The Seahawks defense just didn't perform the expectations. This game was practically over by halftime. It's for the Seahawks, you won your division, but at what cost? This was pretty tough to swallow. As for the Rams, man, I just
congrats to the Rams. You made it through. And guess what your prize is?
A trip to
Lambeau Field.
January cold and that SoCal weather. Ooh, they are not going to do that well. Oh
I'm,
boy,
I'm,
Rams,
I'm,
you guys got that win. I still feel a little scringy about the whole move from St. Louis to LA. I know this is 5 years too late and whatnot, but god damn, it still leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. Rams, you surely proved that Russell Wilson isn't as elite as a quarterback as everyone thought he was. Those Super Bowls feel like the olden times. We are going to move on from that post, unless you have anything else you want to add there, Mr. C.
I would say there's really nothing else. There's really nothing else to add. Like I got the game book right now. I'm looking at all the game books. I'm looking at this one because bear in mind, folks, I didn't see this game. I was out to dinner with the folks when this game was going on.
This upcoming game, I paid a little attention to, and it's maybe one of the more controversial games because, like you said, seeding. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by good old-fashioned Tom Brady with 11 wins, went and kicked the crap out of the team named Redacted football team
All right, all right,
at FedEx Field.
all right.
A 7-9.
I will counter you with that. I did not consider this a full blown ass kicking.
Did Washington deserve to host this game?
No, absolutely not.
The winners of the aforementioned tank division,
Of the probably the worst division in recent memory.
probably all time, if we're being honest. There's only
we will look at that. We will look into that. I'm pretty sure you're right.
I think I am right. There was one team that made the playoffs that was questionable, but this whole division just reeked of garbage. And I do want to say one thing. Alex Smith did rightfully deserve comeback player of the year.
I
At
will
least
say that, yeah.
you go out on top of winning your shitty division. Your head coach
Excuse me.
kicked cancer's literal fucking ass and deserves coach of the year recognitions for what he did. And you had Tyler Hanke going off and putting up decent stats and keeping team name redacted football team in this game. What should have been an ass beating was actually a closer game.
He did pretty well, I would say. All things considered, he did pretty well.
Should Washington have hosted the playoff game though? No, because
Absolutely
fuck Dan
not.
Snyder and fuck everything else about the team culture. As for the Bucks, congratulations, NFL fans everywhere are salty that Gronk and Brady are putting up yet another playoff win.
And I should feel slightly more salty because apparently Antonio Brown is part of this group.
Don't even remind me of that cocksucker.
Let's be fair. I'm happy for Brady that he's going on to the division round. I'm happy for that. Am I happy for Gronk? That depends on who you ask. Like I would say,
if you ask a Lions fan, he'll say no.
If you ask me, I would say no. If you ask my mom, who was with me at dinner when we were looking at updates for this game, she loves Gronk with a passion.
Oh God,
she absolutely loves Gronk.
Your mom's one of those fans.
But she's in the same boat with me because we both don't like Antonio Brown. We call him a traitor.
My brother had the audacity to say he wants a Brady jersey now.
From the Bucks.
Yes. He has the audacity to say that. He wants a Brady jersey for his birthday in July. I'm just like, oh dear, what the hell?
I mean, I still have his Pats jersey, so.
Oh, you poor son of a bitch. Brady's 31st career playoff win. And in a historied career at 43, he's still producing. He is still a legitimate threat to the entire NFL. Yeah, a lot of people compare his mood to Kobe going out to Tampa for reasons of just, hey, I know what I've done in my career. I'm going to go somewhere where I can make more money and get more fame and more prominence. Watch him win a Super Bowl and watch how salty people are about to be, especially up in New England.
I was about to say, what's this have to do with Kobe?
All I'm saying is Kobe went to the Sunshine to kind of get away from the game, and guess what? He won another title. Dan wasn't even trying to win in a title.
You're referring to Kobe.
Oh, LeBron.
That's what I'm saying. Why are you saying Kobe?
One shot has already fucked me up.
Wow, wow, and we still have more to drink. We still have more to go.
Oh, in due time, my friend. Due time. Wrapped up for the Saturday games.
You
thought there was noise. You thought there's noise out of the one upset. Oh boy, we're not even getting started.
All right, let's before we move on, let's just say one more thing. Congrats to the Bucks. You're moving on. Now you have to deal with the Saints. A Tom Brady Drew Brees matchup. Oh, this is going to be the game. This should be the game of the weekend next weekend. It's
gonna be like sandpaper to the ears of Bucks fans. Two ass whippings.
Watch what happens. They're gonna get to this game. It's gonna be played, and somehow the Saints are gonna find some reason to protest this game.
Oh, you're coming up with the whole ref ball curse. All right,
I'll come with the ref ball curse because let's be honest, this is the NFL. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, Tinkerbell's gonna show up at the 12th hour and make everything fucky for the Saints.
All right,
we'll see what happens to the golden child of the NFL, aka Tom Brady.
I would say the golden child. Now he's more like he's the kid trying to hold on to his popularity as the new kid, aka Patrick Mahomes, takes over.
In due time, my friend. In due time.
Anyway, we have another
new kid on the block, trying to pose alongside Patrick Mahomes. Lamar Jackson, after his miraculous dump against the Browns to take his own Browns to the big old Super Bowl, the Ravens get revenge on the Titans after last year's debacle, and they steal a road win away from the Titans.
This was a win that I feel you guys, you got the monkey off your back. You are now, I would say you're legit, but guess what? You're more legit than you were last year.
You finally have that
after that abhorrent start to the beginning of the season. You came back. You beat the Titans. Congrats. Your reward is now you have to play the Bills. You and Lamar and Josh Allen. This is a game that basically could determine who's the next real big superstar not named Patrick Mahomes.
I am going to put my pennies in the basket, and I'm going to put this as the game of the week. The game that will determine one of the next future superstars of the NFL, Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson. If this was a regular game, you betcha Orchard Park would have its seats filled with Bills' asses and broken tables. We now have, well, at least the Bills
I gotta go drink.
The Bills will have fans in attendance. The Packers, I believe, are the only team that's hosting next week that will not have any fans at all in attendance. The Bills will have 500 fans. The Chiefs will have a certain capacity, and the Saints will have a certain capacity. So we'll see how ready Bills Mafia is on Sunday, hopefully in the snow. I hope one of these two games is in the snow at Lambeau or at Bill Stadium. I think that would be pretty cool to see. A good old classic January snowfall football game.
You know, that actually might happen. That would actually
I really hope so, because in the Midwest we will have our snow.
Anyway, let's back to the game for a moment.
Lamar Jackson had almost as many rushing yards.
That 50 yards
as he had passing yards.
Was it 50 or was it like 50? I don't remember the exact. 48. It was a 40. I think it was a 48 yard. 48 yards to the goal line. This is why he is considered one of the most dangerous dual threat quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
He's the most in my opinion, successful in terms of stats. He's the most successful dual threat quarterback. How
many times has a quarterback in just the NFL in general has a quarterback been this dominant in both rushing and passing? Well, let's be fair. Mahomes didn't pass. I mean, Jackson did not pass this well.
Outside of Mahomes, I'm going to go back to 2015 with Carolina, Cam Newton. You got to go back at least 5 years to have a quarterback that was putting up like significant wins and almost practically carrying the offense on his own back because he made stuff happen with his feet.
The only thing
passing got shut down.
The only thing we could pray is that Lamar, you do not have a big of decline as Cam Newton did.
You hope not.
I'm praying. I'm really praying not, because we really need, like, if Mahomes is the guy on the top step, there needs to be someone fighting him, and Lamar Jackson is that guy to me.
The part about dual threat quarterbacks that scares me is injury like an ACL, whatnot, can really hamper these guys, can really be a career ender or a significant career changer in how they come back and approach the game. You do like dual threat quarterbacks because you're not really seeing that many more quarterbacks stay in the pocket anymore. The quarterbacks make stuff happen with their feet. You know, we don't have quarterbacks like that. I wouldn't say Trubisky is really a dual threat. Stafford was never really a dual threat quarterback.
No, Trubisky is not a dual threat, but when he does run, he can do it safely and get to where he needs to.
Stafford will do the whole 4-yard scamper, and he'll dive down when he's about to get hit. He won't go for the first down. He'll get yards, but then he'll go down after a measly couple. Lamar, he'll take hits. Those hits will do damage over time and in due toll. So we'll see what happens in the long run. But for right now, Lamar's guys win. He's going up against Josh Allen. It's good off future superstars in New York State. We shall see what happens. Congrats, Lamar, on that dub. Tennessee, on the other hand, I can't believe Derrick Henry got shut down. He only rushed for 40 yards after going off 5 times for 200 yards this season.
Let's also point out, not only was it just 40 yards, this guy had 18 chances to move the ball. He only managed 40. Tannehill did not do much better either.
No. Tannehill was not as effective. The Tennessee Titans as a whole only gained 209 yards, so it really speaks for what they're able to accomplish. This game was close, but unfortunately, Tennessee could not live up to its hype last year. Honestly speaking, I think that would have been cool had Tennessee made the Super Bowl last year.
I would actually go in the opposite direction. I would say, considering the AFC as a whole, barring our predictions, any team could have won, and that would actually have been a good thing because you could argue every team in the AFC deserved to be there.
Does Sean Vay, the head coach of the Titans, deserve praise, or is his time in the sun kind of running out?
The window is closing.
We will see what happens.
I will. That's all I'll say is that the window is closing. So if he's gonna make something happen, he better do it soon.
Oh boy, we're really optimistic about the future. Now we get to the juicy stuff. The 2 games I really want to talk about.
All right. I want to really talk about. Okay, so the next
Nickelodeon game, folks.
Yeah, the Nickelodeon game. The Bears and the Saints. I have several things to say about this game.
I'm going to just let you go ahead, and all I'm going to say is, I told you so.
All right. The first thing I'm going to say is that, technically, we both lost our bets. I bet Washington was going to be the biggest blowout. You said it was going to be Cleveland. We were both wrong.
Way off on that one.
We were both way off. But outside of that, the one thing about this game that kind of annoyed me. Well, no, let's be positive for a moment. Let's talk about the good things. In terms of the presentation,
The fact that it was on Nickelodeon, not on an actual.
And all the CGI stuff and all the Nickelodeon stuff they did with that. Outside of how corny it came across, I consider this an absolute success. Nickelodeon should do this again next year.
They will.
My only rule is that please, for the love of God, pick a better game.
And please don't bring back young Sheldon, because
you're the only one who had the problem with young Sheldon.
He came off as both corny and a little bitchy. He came off as a little bit of a Karen to me. I liked the idea of explaining everything because it gets kids involved. That's the biggest thing. Sitting down at the game with your young one, instead of screaming at the TV that you just lost money and cousin Vinny's gonna break your thumbs, you got little Timmy ask you, "Ooh, what's a red zone? Ooh, what's roughing the passer? Ooh, Daddy, the ref's making signals with his hands. What's that?"
Here's the one thing. Here's the one thing I would say is that when you consider the audience of people who would watch the game on Nickelodeon, you're right. But if you were a kid and you knew football, you weren't watching it on Nickelodeon.
No.
You would not be watching it on Nickelodeon.
Would you say that, would this have worked 10 years ago when we were kids? Would this have worked?
No. If you did it on Cartoon Network, maybe. Maybe if you did it on Cartoon Network.
This would have been laughed out the door 10 years ago. This game would have been panned.
Okay, may I make a suggestion? If you're gonna do a big thing and have a kids network like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, or God forbid even Disney doing this, I have one game that's perfect for everyone: the NFL Pro Bowl. You can make it as corny as you want, and no one will care because it's all the stars kids know. Everyone will know the kid. Everyone will know their names. Like here's the biggest problem I said why they chose this game. Let's look back at the other games. Let's look at the for example, the Ravens and the Titans. Lamar Jackson should be a huge household name to these kids. Derrick Henry should be Derrick Henry's another big name. Tannehill's he's a name on the rise. When I look at the Bears and the Saints, when I'm thinking big names, I only see Drew Brees. I don't see any other name outside Drew Brees that could sell this game to kids.
No. More recently, Alvin Kamara, but that's because he's only gone off for big yards.
He's not a big name yet. He's not a household name yet. He had big games. He's not a household name. If you're not in New Orleans, he's not a household name.
I agree with the fact that it should have been any other game in this slot. As for the game itself, Bears fans, grab a drink because you'll need it. You played decently well. Trubisky did okay in this game.
Relatively speaking, compared to his normal performance, yeah, okay, it was the best.
This game should have been only scored with 3 points, but Trubisky had to have a garbage last-second touchdown to Jimmy Graham, a quote-unquote walk-off to end that snooze fest.
Let me say a few more things about the game. When they scored a touchdown, CGI slime cannons came off when you were watching a Nickelodeon feed. I thought this would have been a lot in a non-COVID world. There would have been actual slime at some point. Like you had the cannons go off, you have the player go and celebrate, he gets slimed.
I think they would have allowed that. He would have probably gotten fined if he tried to get slimed.
If the NFL is supporting this, the NFL should allow this one time because it's for the kids.
It was cool after the game.
Yeah, but
when Peyton got slimed.
Like I say, in a non-COVID world, maybe you do it during the game, but at the very least, post-game, get all the people doing the interviews and then do a big slime, like Slime Time Live style. Just a big, what was that thing called when they did the slime show on Slime Time? The big shabuzi, I think it was called.
Yes.
Just get the big shabuzi to slime all the players.
The big orange bucket.
Yes. No, I don't think it was I don't even remember what it was, but yeah.
Look it up, but all I want to say was it was actually kind of cool they got Nickelodeon on it
It,
because
it was
I
it
almost
was
spit out my drink when I heard about it.
I
Nickelodeon did what?
I
And
I enjoyed this I enjoyed the Nickelodeon fever. I do have some small
hey,
complaints. Some small
hey,
com-
hey, hey! Think about this. Your team's playoff game was basically a meme.
yeah,
It kind of perfectly defines your season.
yeah. Well, um I
Oh, the
have
wonders of
oh,
bringing back.
did you see the net? Did you see the field goal net?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, the field goal net was SpongeBob's face. I am not making this up, folks.
Oh God.
It was SpongeBob's face.
Man, you're taking this really well, considering you guys
I
are about to get another year of Matt Nagy.
I'm taking this well
Ryan
because
Pace.
I am impressed with this whole thing, this whole childish thing actually giving me joy
man.
when I know the shit that's gonna come next year.
You're already drunk, I can tell.
Okay, I also have a few other. I also have a few other complaint. I have a few other complaints.
Let's get to the game. What do you have?
They made comparisons to Nickelodeon stars to their player components, and let's just say I disagree with some of them. But first, you had a complaint about a certain someone being on the telecast.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're gonna talk about young Sheldon.
No, certain guy from a show known as iCarly.
Oh, Gibby. Oh,
Yep.
what the fuck?
Yeah. No, you were ranty to me about this before we started this podcast, so you got to talk now.
Yeah, I was. For all you fans out there, Gibby was possibly one of the weirdest gimmicks to have ever been brought on a kid's show. He did not add to plot. He had no character development. He was basically a fat kid who would rip off his shirt.
Did you ever see any of iCarly?
Yes.
Did you see anything like season 4? Because he actually was kind of a main character at that point.
Yeah, yeah. I watched it all, buddy.
You want to talk about a character that was brought in as a joke and had no personality? I'm sorry to all the fans from out there, but Bolby from Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius is one of the absolute. No. If we're talking about stupid characters and stupid gimmicks, we could be here all day. But I'm gonna throw a Poof from Fairly Odd Parents.
Who was the movie theater guy from Drake and Josh? The same guy that played Spencer and iCarly?
Crazy Steve.
Yeah, Crazy Steve.
Now that was funny. That was funny.
He was funny. Gibby was basically, childhood diabetes. You know, shaking his fat little stomach. That's gonna get a lot of giggles. Oh boy.
I'm sorry. I'm just remembering clips now. I'm actually laughing. Laughing at this.
Yeah, Gibby burnt my eyes for many, many years. Referring to this game, however, Saints. This was no surprise. The Saints were going to win this game.
Yeah, Saints were guaranteed to win. The only thing was how much. To be fair, 21-9's not a total ass beating, but still, because this is the Bears and all.
Are you even happy that was that close, considering the last score was literally a garbage touchdown at the end of the game by Mitch Kissintitties?
No, I'm just like, I'm whatever at this point.
What do you have to say about the Saints?
Going
up against Brady and the Bucks.
This essentially, if you thought the divisional round could not be any tougher when you consider what could be ahead, this is it for both Tom Brady and Drew Brees.
This game will basically determine the NFC when we really think about it.
If the Packers lose, then yes, it would. But let's face it. Let's assume the Packers are not going to blow it like the Steelers. Let's assume that they're not.
Nice segue.
I got one more. I got 2 more complaints.
Go ahead. Make them quick.
They actually did comparisons for the players to Nickelodeon stars. Now I don't know if you guys know anything about Nickelodeon now. Like, I know if you know in the early 2000s and mid 2000s, you probably know the names. But here was some of the comparisons I saw. One of the comparisons was Alvin Kamara was compared to Alvin Samil. Alvin Seville, aka Alvin the Chipmunks, which I thought, okay, they're both Alvin, they're both aces of what they do. Fine, I can live with that. That's fair. Drew Brees and Taysom Hill are SpongeBob Patrick. Yeah, that's a fair comparison. I can buy that. I can buy that.
They're gay for each other.
With the way
as we know, SpongeBob was confirmed to be gay. So
no, what websites are you guys? Stop reading fanfiction.net. I swear.
No. I'm dead serious. They have basically classified SpongeBob as being gay,
but they never said he like. Okay, here's why I make the fanfiction joke. Until the creator says he's gay.
Nickelodeon just reinforced that theory that SpongeBob SquarePants is literally gay.
But they're never gonna come out and say it. No one from the SpongeBob staff is gonna come out and say he's gay.
Oh boy. All right, let's move on.
But anyway, what I'll say is then that they connect well together and they're pretty good together. There was one where this is the big comparison that makes me kind of go, "What the fuck are you guys on?" And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, okay, makes sense. They made a comparison. They said Mitchell Trubisky is comparable to a guy named Lincoln Loud. Now, if you guys don't know about the Loud House, let me just give a brief dossier about it. It's a show about a boy living in a house with 10 sisters. And he is supposed. And here's where I thought. The more I thought about it, the more the comparison made sense to me. He is considered the man with the plan. Now I'm using air quotes, even though you can't see me use air quotes. I'm using air quotes. Basically, what it means is that he has a plan, and most times it falls apart. Sounds a lot like Trubisky, doesn't it? He thinks he has a plan, but it just falls apart. But that's more Matt Nagy than Trubisky. But here's the thing that makes it hilarious to me. Nickelodeon handed out its own version of the MVP award, the NVP. N as in
Nickelodeon.
And yes, as in Nickelodeon. I'm sorry, the alcohol's getting to me right now. And as in Nickelodeon, they hang out their own one. Do they award to Drew Brees? No. Do they award to Alvin Kamara? No. Do they award to Taysom Hill? No. You know who they gave the award to? Mitchell freaking Trubisky. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? How is Trubisky your MVP? How is this your MVP? And then, humor me, folks. I know it's a sport podcast, but humor me. This is why I think they did this. Because when you made that, again, I made the comparison earlier of him to Lincoln Loud. The Loud House has become probably the biggest show on Nickelodeon that's not SpongeBob.
Absolutely.
So I figure if you're going to make a comparison to perhaps what would be your star show, of course you got to give him the MVP award.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to diss the golden goose.
God forbid you portray him as being gay like SpongeBob.
It could be worse. I'm not gonna say how it could be worse, but it could be worse.
As soon as I read that, I'm just like, yeah, I'm logging off. Yeah, I'm out of here.
The only thing I could make, if I could make one joke, if I could make one small joke as a change, if you didn't care about Alvin the Chipmunks, Alvin Kamara, he could have been comparable to Lynn Loud because she's the actual sports star. She's the one that would know all this shit about football and could probably run the ball like he does.
That I can agree with.
All right.
We spent enough time on the nickel.
Now before we move on to the last game, Butch, I believe we need to take a drink because we're gonna need this.
Oh, I already took mine a minute ago. Trust me, I'm all liquored up and ready for this shit.
Well, I got some vodka I need to drink. I got a whole thing of vodka I need to drink. So,
folks,
give me 1 sec.
All right, I will give you approximately.
All right, let's go. Let's do this. Let's
getting to the game that everyone is literally talking about, the game of the week.
The game that was supposed to be the biggest blowout was the blowout in the other direction.
The Pittsburgh Steelers were completely obliterated by the end of the first quarter. This wasn't even a game, wasn't even close. They lost a for sure win against a divisional rival without its head coach due to COVID. Congratulations, Pittsburgh. You are now the official locale of the NFL. If you are a Steelers fan, you are jumping off the bridge.
The same bridge we walked when we were in Pittsburgh. I know what bridge they should jump off of.
Dear God. Yeah, this was not a day to be a Pittsburghian. Big Ben shit the bed on the first play from scrimmage. Where's the ball?
Where's the ball? Oh,
by Pelosi.
And guess what? Let me just break down this play. I'm going to pull up this play really quick. I'm going to break down this play exactly what happened at this moment. All right. At this moment, Pittsburgh knew they fucked up. So I'm gonna break down this play. I'm gonna be like Kenny Smith. I'm gonna run to my computer and show this play. All right. So for those of you who didn't see it, the snap goes completely over his head. It goes completely
wasn't even close.
And like this snap was so far. Like you can't even make it. You can make an argument that this guy literally thought Big Ben was either 8 feet tall, or he literally thought, okay, wait, I gotta snap it up. Maybe I should aim a little higher, and completely missed it. Now here's the thing. So it goes back. It's now on the Pittsburgh 2. So the Browns, I thought it was gonna be like traditional Browns thing. They go for it. They boot it deeper into the end zone. I thought, okay, nope, Steelers go back. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Browns near the football and only 2 Steelers.
It looks like
no one came back to help them.
It looked like what Cam Newton did in his infamous fumble during Super Bowl 49 or Super Bowl 50, excuse me. It looked like he pulled off on the play as if he kind of let off on the gas when the ball was still out. Like Big Ben could have made a lunge.
Yeah. He ran past the ball. He ran past the ball. He thought the other guy was gonna get it. He ran past it. He's like, saw no one again. I'm like, oh shit! And then he tries to go after it. Only find out now it's in the end zone and there's 5 Browns going after it. And that is how the Browns get their first touchdown in the playoffs in 18 years. Only 14 seconds into the game. This was a bad omen for all the shit that was gonna happen after this.
Pittsburgh's first offensive series, they didn't even get the fourth
down. Wasn't even an offensive series.
Interception.
They didn't even get an offensive series before they scored. It was literally the first play on defense.
It was literally that bad. This game
I don't know if YouTube will allow me. I don't know if YouTube will allow me to do this, but I'm going to post a link in the description. Go click that link and you'll see what the hell happened.
I will compare this play to the infamous Peyton Manning safety in the Super Bowl. First play from scrimmage, except Clayton was moving forward when the ball snapped over his head. Big Ben was right there, and the center just completely mistimed his throw. And as of right now, that center, Maurice Pouncey, the Pro Bowl center, might I add, plans to retire after all this is said and done. Big Ben played like shit.
Before we get on to Big Ben playing like shit, let's also remember
we need to acknowledge this.
Well, let's acknowledge this. Let's acknowledge this one play first. After that play, Cleveland just went off. They snagged a few interceptions from Ben. I think. Hold on, let me check that. Yeah, first one.
I think they had 3.
First drive was a fumble. Second drive, interception. Fourth drive.
First one was an interception.
No, I'm talking about the Steelers. I'm talking about the Steelers.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about the Steelers drives. First drive was that fumble we talked about. Second was the interception. Yeah. Fourth one was the interception. Sixth one was the interception.
Mm-hmm.
And before we get to this, with all this that happened, let's remember one thing. At the end of the first quarter, you think that it would have been that one thing happened. Sure, that one Browns touchdown was a fluke. You know what? The first quarter ended up being 28-0.
A route, but in the opposite direction. Instead of Pittsburgh running away with this one, like everyone, including you and me, literally thought Pittsburgh had in hand, Cleveland had the entire nation in a gasp. They had Pittsburgh fans' mouths dropped, waiting for that Permini Brothers sandwich to be shoved in their mouths, folks. This game.
No dissing Permini Brothers sandwiches. Those sandwiches are freaking good. If you're ever in Pittsburgh, go get those sandwiches.
This game should not have gone off like this.
This game should never happen this way.
This is the perfect definition of 2020 summed up in a NFL game. A team that had everything going for them, a team that had a 11-0 start to the season, a team that had the first seed all but pretty much locked up, fell apart. And then a gimme game, a situation you cannot screw up, even if you tried, was somehow managed to have been pulled off. Pittsburgh, this game is painful for you. It is painful for Mike Tomlin. It is painful for Ben Roethlisberger.
Someone's getting fired.
It is painful for Juju Smith-Schuster.
Let's talk about the quote of the week. Let's talk about the quote of the week for a moment. As you can see on the video, we have a quote of the week every week. The quote of the week was, first let's take it back to last week. Juju Smith-Schuster said, and I quote, I think they're still the same Browns team I play every year. I think they're nameless gray faces. Trying to quote Mike Tomlin on that one. They have...
The Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns.
Yep. They have a couple of good players on their team, but at the end of the day, I don't know. The Browns is the Browns. And then, what did he say after this game? He says, I don't regret saying what I said. I said the Browns is the Browns. But then he tries to go off and justify that the Browns are a good team.
Yeah. There was one quote I saw. I don't remember who said it on the Steelers, but he said the Bills are going to... Not the Bills, excuse me. Whoever they're facing next week.
They are facing the Chiefs.
They said they're going to get their asses handed to them by the Chiefs.
They should. Let's remember. They should. This game was the Steelers should beat the Browns. That never happened.
No.
A few years ago, the Patriots should have beat the Eagles. That never happened. So let's just be safe and say no, another should. This past season, the Steelers should have beat the Jets.
As a Steelers fan, I need to ask you this. What was more painful? Losing to the Jags in 2018 or this?
This. Absolutely this.
Because it's a divisional rival.
Because it's a divisional rival and because Ben looked like absolute dog shit.
I think it's just painful because it's simply Cleveland. This is the locale of the NFL. The Browns are supposed to be the Lions. They're not supposed to be relevant. And somehow they are. Somehow they have their first playoff win since 1994. Somehow they have turned Pittsburgh into the laughingstock of the NFL. If I'm a Steelers fan, I burn my jerseys.
Oh.
There is no coming back.
I apologize. I was wrong. I was referring to another team that lost to the Jets. I actually should be referring to the fact that they lost to the Bengals. That should have been an easy win. But yeah, Pittsburgh.
Oh, you mean this year?
Yeah, this year.
Oh, I thought you meant playoff game because I was going to say 2016 turned the other way around. I'm just talking about like playoffs in general.
I'm talking about games that should have happened. Like Pittsburgh should have beat the Browns. That didn't happen. Eagles should have got their ass kicked by the Pats.
Yes.
That didn't happen. The Steelers should have came in and whipped Cincinnati's ass. That didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Did anyone see this game? Like, did anyone see this outcome? Like,
no. Anyone who did, anyone you did, I'm sorry. You have the sports almanac. We need to take it back to where it should belong.
I love that Back to the Future reference. Man, this game was painful. It pains me more because as a Lions fan, the Browns are supposed to be that team that hasn't accomplished much. They're supposed to be the bottom rung below the Lions, and now they're relevant. Now they can bask in the glory of a playoff win, and everyone's going to start sucking Baker's dick. Oh my Lord.
But let's look. Maybe let's think about it this way. And this is a big if, and I may end up
Yeah,
getting
try
trade
to
after
cheer me
this.
up.
And no, I was about to. I'm about to make you more depressed. Let's.
No.
The past decade alone, the state of Ohio has been on the rise in terms of sports.
Yeah.
Not just Cleveland. Not just Cleveland. The whole
Ohio
state.
State,
The whole
Columbus,
state. The whole state has been on the
Cavs.
rise in the sports world. Maybe this is
Michigan.
just, maybe somehow
Michigan's
this is
had a
just
long drought.
maybe this is just fate. Hey, maybe it's time to make Cleveland one of the big sports cities. They're never going to be as big as New York. They're never going to be as big as Chicago. No. They're never going to be as big as LA. But maybe they can get close.
We'll see what happens. Cleveland, I hate saying it, but bask in your playoff win, you sorry sacks of bitches.
All I can say is Cleveland is congratulations. Now you have the Chiefs. Have fun with that.
Pittsburgh, you can go bury yourself in a sand where you guys think you guys are always Super Bowl relevant, you pieces of shit. Get out of my sight!
Okay, can we just agree that someone's going to get fired for this game?
Yeah, but knowing this is the Steelers, they're not because they're all signed on quote-unquote contracts.
Or the very least, they're on thin fucking ice.
Have they been on thin fucking ice for years now? Let's be honest.
Yeah, but this is like the one where it's like all the cracks are around you. You make one sudden move, you're falling in. This is where we're at now.
There better be changes because y'all should be embarrassed of yourselves. Let's get to the predictions.
All right, so my predictions, I say Packers, Ravens, Chiefs, Saints.
Oof. You said Ravens?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sticking by that. And no amount of
liquor is going to change your mind. All right. I am going to go, on the other hand, Packers, Bills, Chiefs. I'm going to ride with the Bucks, baby. I have a feeling that Tom Brady is going to benefit from ref ball.
All right. Outside of that, that's it for the NFL wildcard weekend, the Super Wildcard weekend. Before we move on to the other big football game that happened, but you want to say anything?
This was definitely quite the week full of interesting matchups. I hope the playoffs will hopefully play out safely without any major COVID outbreaks. So here's to false hope. Also, we don't really have to skim over the national championship game.
No, because everything that was supposed to happen happened already. There was nothing else to say. Alabama came in, whipped ass, and they're national champions.
Yeah, I took a bath when I came to Ohio State. So much for offense versus offense. That game was pretty much euthanization of the Big Ten. But congratulations, your one chance at being relevant, and you weren't.
So let me also put this out there. Seeing how that was how the game went, do you still believe Ohio State deserved to make this playoff?
If I'm being realistic, no.
Yeah, that's what we said since the beginning. That Ohio State did not deserve to be in this.
I said Indiana should have been in the Big Ten championship game, and a lot of people argue with me outside of Columbus that should have been the case. Ohio State had only played 5 games, folks. Think about that. 5 games. They shut Double Sweeney's stupid ass up, though. That is the one thing I'm happy about with Ohio State. They put Dabble Sweeney in his fucking place after he gave them the audacity of an 11th ranked team. They embarrassed your Tigers on national television. They made you guys look like retards. Yes, I don't agree with the fact that Ohio State made it in, but Let's be honest. Are we going to see any other noteworthy team get in? This is the college playoff. This was what was supposed to be better in the BCS, and yet we still see more controversy.
Yeah, here we go again.
BCS.
Here we go. CFP rant. Take number 5 at this point. First off, again, if there was any, I'm going to maintain this. I'm going to maintain this till the day I die. If there was ever a time to expand the college football playoff, given the circumstances, it was now. No, but they kept it at 4
Everyone else did it.
But they kept it at 4 teams. So I thought, okay, at least consider the fact that some people can't play a full schedule. So consider teams that probably can play a full schedule. Guess what? You didn't do that either. I'm done yelling at this. I'm done yelling about this. All I can say is that everyone in the college football committee
can go fuck themselves.
I hope you all don't work.
Suffer?
No, not suffer. I was hoping when it's come time for you to leave the NCAA, I hope you have nothing to do with football ever again, because you guys suck. You guys suck. You guys don't know what the hell you're doing, and I wish I knew who was on that committee so I could tell them all to their face. I could go to their school and tell them to their face, you guys suck.
Would it really have hurt the bottom line if they just allowed 8 teams in? Like, what?
Okay,
what
how many bowl games were played? Okay, how many bowl games were played this year?
The bowl games that actually happened? You're talking about bowl games that were scheduled and did get canceled?
Yeah, I'm talking about bowl games that, despite all the evidence to the contrary, should have never happened, but they did it anyway.
This is gonna take a second.
Let's not talk about games that were canceled. Let's talk about bowl games. Let's talk about the bottom tier bowl games that still got played.
I know. That's what I'm looking up. 4. Give me a second. 6. $22.
How many of those are bottom tier bowl games?
No, those J Squadrons. Outside New Year's bowl games, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna say 16. Or bottom tier. Or bottom tier.
Yes.
Like games that really, honestly, didn't matter.
So I was thinking, at the very least, could you have converted them into divisional games? Because look at the teams that got to end up playing these games. I'm looking at the Myrtle Beach Bowl right now. You had Appalachian State in North Texas playing a bowl game. Who the fuck wants to see that game?
Not really anyone. Nor do they want to see the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Can we come up with the dumbest? We need to find the dumbest bowl name. That they're how about the Cheez-It Bowl? Oklahoma State and Miami, where they dumped Cheez-Its on the winning head coach.
Wait, that's actually a thing?
How about the Duke's Mayo Bowl?
I'm sorry, that's actually a thing?
Yeah.
I don't watch these bowl games, so I don't know. That's actually a thing they do?
Yep, they did this year. The Duke's Mayo Bowl. The trophy broke, so they put a bottle of Duke's Mayo on top of the trophy case.
Get the fuck out. Seriously?
Yep, that seriously happened. We got...
Oh my god! I found it. Oh god, that's cool. That's good.
Yep. The Serb Pro First Responder Bowl. This was not talked about. Army got left out of a bowl game. They weren't even in because because the bowl game they were supposed to be in got canceled. They got left out. A team with 9 wins got left out.
A team that went 4-5 is in.
Yep.
Okay, can I say one thing? I am all for, like, if you want to tier these bowls out in the future, I think the First Responder Bowl should be more like a middle tier game. Because the First Responder Bowl is usually a good game, or at least it's usually a bowl where it's like, you know what, your purpose I can get behind.
Why don't we have a tournament?
Because whoever decided to do the BCS screwed everyone over.
Everyone thought the college playoff.
Because look at the FCS has done tournaments every year, and those games are amazing.
It just this playoff is just yet another example of prejudice money, and just overall bias.
This
Because
is
let's be honest, every year it's been Clemson. It's been Clemson and Alabama.
no.
It's the
There was a
same
year. There
two
was a year Clemson
damn
was left
teams.
out. There was a year Clemson was left.
Yeah, but it's pretty much almost the same damn teams every fucking year. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Alabama. That's the only can play. Alabama's been in every fucking one.
Even when Alabama wasn't good enough to get in, somehow they were
I
still
take it. Never mind, people. I found the names of the selection committee. I found their names. I gotta go Iowa. I gotta go Arizona State. I gotta go Wyoming. I gotta go Oklahoma. I gotta go all these states to figure out
Where's the nearest one? Where's the nearest one? I'm actually curious now. You just want to write like letters, like blacklist these people. Like, hey, how about not appearing again?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of terms are supposed to. I'm reading the Wikipedia page, folks, so this may not be accurate. I'm seeing that their term is supposed to expire February 2021. So in a month, they're gone from the committee.
If we could talk about one thing, we need a different system than the college football playoff because it's not working out. This is almost year 10 or year 8 of this experiment. It just hasn't worked out. And if you think this is a better system than the BCS, you're as blind as a bat in traffic. Congratulations. You have royally fucked up college football and have alienated a large portion of your fan base.
3, 4, 5, 6. There's been 7 of these, right? 7.
I think 7.
Okay,
I think 7.
Alabama missed 1 year.
Oh boy, what a year that was. Was that the year Ohio State won it?
They missed, I believe, 2019.
Are you sure about that?
I'm looking. I'm making sure. I could be wrong about this. Yeah, 2019. They weren't there.
LSU, baby. Oh yeah, LSU in it to win it.
Yeah, Alabama and Clemson only missed 1 of these each.
Yeah,
I think it was both. Yeah, it was. Alabama 2019 and Clemson. Clemson missed.
It missed 2014.
Yeah, they did. Ohio State and Oklahoma are tied for like the next most in.
Yeah,
but at the very least, I could just outside what happened this year, I could justify Ohio State because they were there. They won the first one.
Hey, losers like Michigan State and Washington have been in. Let's not forget Florida State and Oregon were in too. Oh boy, how exciting! You have 8 appearances by SEC teams, only 5 for the Big 10, 4 for the Big 12, and only 2 from the Pac-12. A playoff that was actually stated as having parity doesn't even have that when it's just the 2 main conferences fist fighting each other for the overall trophy. It is disgusting, folks.
Let's also point. I'm gonna also do a small little rant. Let's also point out another team that got in that should have never been in the first place twice, and that's Notre Dame. They should have never been in there in the first place.
No. You think UCF had an actual point in arguing that they should have been in, or were they practically being laughed out the door?
Remind me, what year was UCF trying to get in?
2018, I think.
Was it 2018?
2017. I think it was.
Let me check. UCF was number 7 in 2018.
It was 2018. 2018, they went 12-1. They lost in the Fiesta Bowl to LSU. That was the year they proclaimed themselves to be national champions.
Okay, as for being national champions, no.
That was the year before. They claimed 2017.
They claimed 2017.
They were undefeated. They beat Auburn. They claimed to be national champions.
In 2017.
Yes.
To claim that, and what were they ranked? Let me look it up. They were ranked 12.
Yeah.
They went undefeated and they were only ranked 12. Who the fuck was ahead of them? Okay, Notre Dame, bullshit. Auburn, I could see. TCU, I could see. Penn State, definitely. Wisconsin, definitely. Oh, I read the wrong one. You said.
What's up?
We're talking about UCF, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, UCF, the University of Central Florida Knights.
I'm reading the wrong list. I'm reading the final.
Dude.
I'm reading the final rankings, not the one going into the playoffs.
This team's a joke.
But they bring up a valid point. I mean, if you're willing to give a team like Notre Dame a shot, saying, okay, they may not be impressive, but let's throw in there, see what happens. You could give UCF the chance. That's why you go to 8 fucking teams.
Yeah, but Notre Dame puts asses in seats. Only reason why they got in. But yeah, I agree. It should just be March Madness. It should be a tournament. Get rid of the bowl games, make it a tournament, or make the bowl games tournaments.
That's what I said. That's what I was gonna say. Convert some of these useless, nobody gives a fuck bowl games into tournament games, so you can at least say people can at least pay attention. I'm like, I wonder who's playing in this. Oh, this matchup is gonna be the First Responders Bowl. Ooh, this is gonna be fun.
Instead
at
of
least turn
constant. Instead of
the constant teams that don't deserve to be recognized on national TV in a useless fucking bowl game. I'm sorry to all the people who play in those bowl games, but yeah, your team is useless. It sucks. You suck. I'm looking at the teams. Look right here. Let's look at these teams right here in 2020. North Texas being green. You guys suck.
Coming up next week, Mr. G
here's the Cougars. You suck. I'm too drunk for this. All right. This is Southern County. I'm just gonna go rant and say what she sucks. Wisconsin Badgers. You kind of suck, and you broke a trophy.
Take her easy, folks.
Mississippi State Bulldogs at 37. Oh, you guys are the worst of the bunch.
Oh boy.
Kentucky Wildcats. You suck.
He's just pissed off at those Bears folks. Just ignore it.
Ole Miss kicking Indiana's butt. Well, okay, it's
now you're going personal there.
Okay, right, it's Ole Miss. It's Ole Miss in Indiana. It was gonna go one or the other. Okay.
How dare you? I'm pulling the cord.
See you guys next week when we're sober.
Take her easy.